What's up, guys? I wanted to have a bit more of a intimate one-to-one conversation with you to open up about something that happened this year that I really struggled with, that basically threw my health and fitness journey on its head like a pancake. Just it wasn't fun. So this is year 4 of having ankle surgeries, okay? And you'll probably notice in other videos and photos, like I look like I had more muscle mass and maybe now I look more slim. And I mean, I'm still fit, but yeah, in my mind, I've lost a lot of muscle mass, which is the case because I know I have. And it was really, really difficult to kind of go through because I worked for something so hard and then something out of my control happened and then I lost everything I had worked for, and that wasn't the first time that's happened. But it didn't necessarily like stop me from caring about my health and caring about my fitness. And I noticed with women who are trying to lose weight, I'm not speaking for everyone, but if something happens, like let's just say they break their foot and now they can't walk and they just kind of give up and they have a kind of like a self-sabotaging mentality where it's like, if I can't do everything perfectly, then I'm just going to give up and it's not worth it. And at the end of the day, we're only human. We're never going to be able to do everything perfectly, right? And I just wanted to share some tips that actually helped get myself through that. So what happened was, after 4 years of ankle surgeries not working, my foot got so bad that like I couldn't walk. Like I was basically living in a wheelchair without a wheelchair. I was living at home 24/7. If I wanted to go to the beach, my partner had to carry me to the beach. Like the only time I got out of the house was when he would just drive around, and it was like I literally felt paraplegic because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even stand in the shower. I'd be sitting in the shower, and I had 2 operations on my foot and it made it worse as well. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? And yeah, so that's essentially how I lost so much muscle mass, because it was painful to even sit down, let alone walk. So how am I meant to walk around the gym? And like I could not do that. My body was so tired from fighting so much pain as well. And because I'm not a fan of pharmaceutical medication either, I kept turning down pain medication as well. I think I did take it like 2 or 3 times when I was like actually screaming and yelling because I was in that much pain physically. But yeah, it was really difficult. And it disheartens me to see my physique kind of like dwindle down the drain, particularly like my glutes. My legs are okay, but my calves don't really exist, and my glutes, I can't really do much to build much muscle mass in my glutes at the moment. But what it did do was bring a lot of light to what I really, really did have. And I did find some like kind of semi solutions. There's actually a compound called BPC-157. I may as well talk about it on here now. If I get hate, then I get hate. BPC-157, now there's not a heap of studies on humans, which I understand why, but it's not a steroid and it's not a drug or anything. Essentially, BPC-157 is something that's naturally found in your stomach lining to keep the lining of your intestines really healthy, okay? And they first recognized this compound way back in the day when like soldiers were at war essentially, and their hand would be like blown off and then they got a bullet in their stomach, and to try and preserve that hand, they'd put the arm in the stomach to try and preserve it, because they realize that there's something in there that actually preserves like the health of the ligaments and the tendons and the fibers and the organ and muscle mass, per se, in general. So we all naturally have BPC-157 in us. So I'm not giving myself anything that I don't already naturally have, okay? The only downfall is it hasn't really been tested a heap on humans. The only reason I knew that it was beneficial in certain circumstances was from anecdotal experience where people just talk about it like I'm talking about it now. And I was basically willing to do anything. And again, very like turned off pain medication as well because they're so addictive, and I don't want to go down that route. So that's that. I've only had, I think maybe two injections, I think. And I really hate needles, honestly, so I haven't had another one, but it has helped. Like I'm able to stand a little bit, I'm able to go to the gym a little bit more. I definitely did notice a benefit, but a few things that you should be aware about BPC-157, and if you do want to use it, you need to go do your own research and come to your own conclusions And like, please don't take this as medical advice, because again, there's like no human trials, but something you definitely do need to be aware of is that you don't have any cancerous cells, because essentially how BPC-157 works is it starts replicating cell regeneration, and that's why it helps basically heal tissues and heal tendons and things like that by increasing blood flow and creating these new cells. But you can see how that would basically really turn on cancer, because if you have some cancerous cells and cancerous overgrowth of cells, then you're basically just stimulating that. So you do want to be really, really, really mindful. I can't stress that enough. And please don't take my word for it that it will work for you if you have a bad shoulder or a bad knee. Like, you know, the only reason I went for it was because, okay, I've had 9 surgeries. I'm screaming at night. I'm living basically in a wheelchair, and I do not want to go on pain medication. I'm too healthy and young as well to be living off pain medication. And yeah, I did notice a benefit. So now I'm training again. Not walking a heap, but I'm walking, that's for sure. I'm not limping around. Still in discomfort here and there, but like, at least I'm able to go to the gym, and I'm very thankful and grateful for that. Now back to the mindset sides of things in the beginning that I originally mentioned. I wanted to say right now, right here, right now, that it did help me realize though how grateful I should have been for what I had. And I think a lot of the time when we're in pain or we're not happy with how things are, we very easily focus on what we don't have rather than what we do have. And if you're watching this video, you are luckier than 90% of the entire population, you know. And it also made me realize, you know, there were some clients that were like, oh yeah, I was 1K down in my steps or something. And I was like, my goodness, like, stop with the excuses. You have a body that walks. Like, I don't have that at the moment. Like, I wish I had that. Like, you're actually so blessed if you have a body that is mobile, okay? And it really did bring light to that. And so now every day that I wake up and I'm like able to stand whilst filming a YouTube video even, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, how freaking lucky am I? And then on the back end of that, I also want to say, and I already knew this because I've studied a lot of like neuroscience and psychology just because I'm fascinated. And I actually started meditating when I was 13. So I'm very like mindset orientated kind of person, which I do believe is why I was able to achieve a lot of things as well. Like, the way you think and the way your energy is what you're going to attract, okay? I know it kind of sounds a little bit like, but it's very true. Like, if you meet someone who's like upbeat and happy and bubbly, like, the likelihood is your energy is going to go up by just having a little conversation with them. You're going to feel like good, right? Whereas if you meet someone who's like depressed and like complaining about everything, like, how are you going to feel? Probably like shit, and you're like, I don't really want to talk to that person again. So how you feel is also what you attract, okay? And you can just attract so much good in your life if you can raise your energy, but that starts with you deciding to be a better version of you every day, realizing what you have, and actively every single day trying to improve things and make things better for yourself, which comes down to primarily your health, because your health is the only thing that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. It is your lifeboat, okay? And you know those like lifeboats that are in a lake that you have to like blow up and they're kind of like float because you like pump air into them, like the really cheap ones, right? Like, if you can't put enough air in that, you're not going to paddle all the way over to the other island, are you? Like, it's going to like not work and you're going to probably drown in the middle. That's a little bit over the top, but you get my point, right? And so when it comes to your perspective on health and caring for yourself, you must realize that it's basically your lifeboat, okay? And the more air you put into it, the better you care for it, and the more strong the structure is, the better likelihood it has of getting you to your destination, which is most likely half the reason you're watching this video, because you're like, I want to lose weight, I want to feel healthy, I want to feel better, I'm inspired to be better. Great, good on you. Put in more air, take care of your lifeboat, because at the end of the day, it's all you've really got. So yeah, look, anyway, I just wanted to put that video out there into the world of social media, because, you know, I know people struggle out there. I have myself, definitely. But at the same time, to say that I struggled because I couldn't stand and walk, I actually had so much, you know. There's plenty of people, and some of the happiest people I know are actually living in wheelchairs. So at the end of the day, it's always your perspective, okay? But yeah, I hope that one helped, and I would appreciate a like on this video if it meant something to you and you know, got something from it. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel by now, please do so. I've noticed like a third of the people who watch my videos are only subscribed, so I would appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.